Hello y'all, welcome to Hickory Nut Cottage. Today I'm going to share your recipe of cheeseburger soup. My friend Leanne gave this recipe to me years ago. We were talking about potato soup and she asked if I'd ever had cheeseburger soup. So I'm going to share the recipe with you here. We have the ingredients on the counter. We've got our 1.5 cup of water, 2 cups of potatoes, which I've washed, have not sliced those yet. We have carrots, 1 small onion, a bell pepper. You can't see on the green counter, but a bell pepper. We also have a cayenne pepper, a clove of garlic. We have beef bouillon. Our thickener will be flour. It's just all-purpose flour. 1 pound of cheese. We have milk, and we have our hamburger meat. And with those ingredients, I'm going to go ahead and start chopping up our vegetables and get them ready to go. Okay, we're going to slice up our potatoes and actually cube them. Alright, now we're going to slice our onion. And I learned a little secret about slicing onions from Emerald years ago, which has been very helpful for me. When you want diced onions, never cut off the end of the onion, only the top. But as long as you leave the end of the onion attached and slice it long ways, when you slice it, they're automatically diced. Automatically have diced onions there. Alright, there are our onions. Okay, and while when I finish slicing the peppers, I'm going to go ahead and put my hamburger meat into our Dutch oven, which I'm going to use this Dutch oven. It's one of my favorites. I've had it for years. I'm going to put it on the stove, and we'll go ahead and get our hamburger meat to browning. 1 pound of hamburger meat. Alright, now we have our peppers, a bell pepper chopped, onions and bell peppers, and I just got a little jalapeno out of my garden the other day, so we're going to mince this up. And we'll have our jalapeno with seeds. You can take seeds out if you don't want it to be as hot. I like the seeds in it, so we're going to have a little bit of a spicier soup. Alright, so that has all of our vegetables up except the garlic. Almost forgot the garlic. Okay, now we have minced garlic. So all of our vegetables are diced up. Throw away the onion skins and clean up a little bit while our meat is browning. Alright y'all, we're almost have our hamburger meat browned. It's browned good enough. So I'm going to take that out of our Dutch oven. I've got a bowl here that I'm ready to take that out. Get it. I love this Dutch oven. Those of you who haven't cooked with cast iron, I can't recommend it enough. Cast iron and stainless steel is pretty much what I cook in most of the time. As a matter of fact, it's all I cook in. Alright, I'm going to pour off this grease from our hamburger meat. Set our hamburger meat aside. Let me grab a small bowl. We'll pour off almost all of our grease. I'm going to leave a little in there. Actually, I'm going to add just a little bit back. I want to have just enough to cover the bottom of our skillet or our Dutch oven. Because what I'm going to do now is make a roux. We have 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour as our thickener, and the recipe actually says to add that in at the end, but I prefer to add it in the beginning because flour just tastes better to me. If you go ahead and make your roux or your gravy like you would do in a gumbo, and again I need a little more, get that flour nice and brown. But it just tastes better to me. Sometimes flour, if you add it at the end, it just tastes a little floury. Okay, I've added a little bit of water to this. We had 2 cups of water, actually a cup and a half of water. So I've gone ahead and added a little bit of water to thin that flour. We'll let that cook just a little bit to give us a good brown gravy, roux, soup thickener in this case. But we'll let that brown just a little bit, and then we'll start adding in our ingredients. We'll start off with our onions. Actually, we'll go ahead and add the onions to that now as it browns, to let them cook a little bit. Alright, we'll let our onions saute in this and brown it up just a little bit. We'll be right back. Okay folks, as you can see, we've got our flour and onions sauteing here. So the next thing I'm going to do is add the remainder of my vegetables. I'm going to add my 2 cups of potatoes. And I'm going to add our peppers. We're going to add all that to this. And I'm going to add 1 box of chicken stock. You could use beef stock if you'd prefer. Today I don't have any beef stock, but I do have chicken stock. But for your soup, you've got to have some liquid. So we want to cover our potatoes with liquid. Because after all, this is cheeseburger soup. Alright. I'm going to add the remainder of the water that we had, the 2 cups. Those were my 2 carrots. And this is the remainder of the water we did not use in the thickener. And we'll let this simmer for about 25-30 minutes until our potatoes are tender. And at that point, we'll add our milk, cheese, and our meat back in. Okay, let's see where we are with our soup. Looks like we have a pretty good thick soup already. Our potatoes are slicing nicely. Soup's been cooking for about 30 minutes or so. So I think what I'm going to do now, of course this would be a great soup, just be a potato soup, but to make it a cheeseburger soup, we're going to add back in our hamburger meat that we fried earlier. We'll set that bowl aside. Nice. A lot of hamburger meat in there. Put a little more than what it called for 1 pound. I had a little over there. I think it was about 1.5 pounds. But I'm going to add, the recipe originally calls for processed cheese, which is loaded with salt. So I'm going to add Sriracha cheese, 2 cups, to add our cheese to it. And we'll let that melt. I should have had a little bit bigger container now that I look at it. But basically with that, I need to add a little milk. And we have our cheeseburger soup. This milk has been at room temperature. I pulled it out of the fridge when I started the chopping. I don't like to add cold milk to soup. Okay, I think our soup has, the cheese has melted, simmered for probably another 5 minutes. It's actually just turned 4:15 here in Hickory Nut Cottage. So I think this soup is ready. Again, it's one of my favorite soups for winter, for potatoes, and basically root vegetables. You have your onions and your garlic and your carrots in there. So I've got me a little bowl here. Look at all that goodness in there. All right, this is our soup. That is so good. Thank you, Leanne. And thank you all for tuning in and visiting with us today at Hickory Nut Cottage. Hopefully we'll have some more good videos coming up for you, but try this soup. It is excellent. Wonderful for cold days, snowy days, any days you want something warm inside. God bless. Y'all have a great day. And y'all don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you like our video. We sure would appreciate it. Y'all have a great one. Thanks.